Welcome to the Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and for today's episode, well, let me present you a fantastic guest that has certainly been a busy bee as of late. Today's guest is beeanimated, an up-and-coming voice actress with an amazing range on full display, with amazing projects under her belt already, such as Airborne and The Evil Little Thing. Bee is someone that I have gladly gotten to know because of my work with The Evil Little Thing, and getting a chance to sit down with her and really get to know her a lot more, figure out how she got to this point, really get to enjoy the personality that she has. It was a fantastic conversation that I know you all are going to absolutely love. If you enjoy our guest, please make sure you support her with the links down in the description below. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. You know I see that stuff. You know it warms my heart. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend checking out the fantastic merch shop on fourthwall.com. The link to that in the description below. And look, if all you want is a nice, cool, casual place where you can enjoy other quality artists, share your art around, and really get to connect and grow as a community, may I recommend you check out our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. The group we've already developed there is absolutely outstanding, and I love seeing new stuff for them all the time. And I think you would be a fantastic addition to that group today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
I think we're good to go.
All right then. Good. And finally, after all this time, we can finally record this episode.
I know, no kidding. And look, and I'm like, oh my God, as this whole thing is happening, I'm like, please don't let this be the reason. Please don't let this be the reason. It's always freaking something.
I mean, to be fair, if it makes you feel a little bit better, this hasn't been like the longest time I've had to wait for like a podcast or whatnot. Like I had one guess. So does the name Asher Roth even remotely rings a bell to you?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
I've had him on the podcast. All right. Which is insane to me.
No freaking way.
Oh yes. No. He's surprisingly a lot easier to find than you would expect.
He did that one song.
I Love College.
I Love College.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
It's one of those, like, that was part of the reason why I wanted to get him on. It was always a dream for me to, like, bring on, like, a one-hit wonder, because, you know, they're known for the one song, but, like, you know, some artists, they do more past that, and he's obviously done a lot more past that. So, like, and the only reason I even heard remotely about him is because around the time he was, like, promoting an EP they had coming up, and this was, like, April of 2022. So, like, I found like March or April of 2022, I got in touch with him. We had planned to have the interview like relatively before the EP was supposed to drop, but he had to delay it because of like there was something going on with like personal family stuff, and we had to like push it a little later and all that kind of stuff. And then I just didn't get back in touch with him for a little bit, and we didn't record that episode until December of 2022. So it was a good 8 months between when we were supposed to record it and when it happened. So yeah.
I'm just happy that you're kind of comparing me to the Asher Roth as far as, you know, accessibility. Thank you.
I mean, that will always be the benchmark of like when a podcast is planned to happen and when it actually happens. I mean, I've had guests that I tried to get on the podcast when I was first starting out that only recently got on the podcast, but there was nothing planned then, you know? Like,
Sure. Yeah, just know in your stories here, you can always be like, well, you know, there was Asher Roth and then there was B. Like, you know, those were the ones that were the toughest to get a hold of. I'll gladly be like, well, that was me.
And you see, I was going to say, like, so whenever you were talking about, like, your microphone troubles earlier, the guest I was previously comparing to, like, that had the horrible, like, microphone, like, on the phone and, like, it looped or whatnot, that was a guest by the name of Joe Horn, which if you don't know who he is, he was a storyboard artist and director in animation, starting all the way back in like the 80s with like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the original like Sonic the Hedgehog animated series. He would go on to like direct shows like The Boondocks and Class of 3000.
Oh, that's nuts!
Yes.
Holy cow, you get like some big names on here. That's crazy.
I'm surprised with the names I'm able to get on this podcast. Like, I genuinely am sometimes. Like,
that's freaking awesome.
Like I could go on just about the guest alone, but this isn't about me today.
Please, no, by all means, make it about you. I'm the host.
Okay, let's see. We've had Senior Payload, the odd ones out. I have this little bit with like a close group of friends or whatnot, to where I have this like whole entire rundown about me being, niche internet micro celebrity, host of the Postmodern podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wandering the world over the blah blah blah, including guests such as Senior Payload, the odd ones out, Will Wood, and so many more.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's dope, because a lot of people can't say that. Like that's
right?
Crazy impressive. Crazy impressive.
Like I said, I try to stay humble as much as I can, because it's like at the end of the day, like I'm still like a person that has like, not even 2,000 subscribers to like my YouTube, and I'd be lucky if episodes get like 50 views sometimes, but like, in the same vein, like I've had so many like incredible people and incredible conversations, and it's like, who could say they've done stuff like that,
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I think it's definitely not so much about the popularity of the person, more so than it is the relationships and the rapport you build with those people.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, you just never know. One day those interviews may blow up. You just never know, but it's never about the views. Well, it's always about the experience.
It's funny that you say that, because the Senior Palo episode that I was talking about or whatnot, like I interviewed him like in October this past year, and it got like a couple thousand views. Like it's on yeah, I got a couple thousand with that one. But recently he just dropped the newest Spooky Month, and that episode jumped up like 10,000 views.
That's how it happens. That's exactly how it happens, because something happens with that person, and now everybody's just researching everything about them.
Exactly.
And they stumble upon the creators that like actually got to sit down and pick their brains.
Exactly.
That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. It pays off in the end.
It does. That's at least the hope. And hopefully, like with what I aspire with this podcast, is not only does it help with that episode, but brings in a new audience so they can explore some of the other artists that they may not have heard about, such as yourself with today's episode.
Oh, well, I'm glad to be here.
All right, B, before we really get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It's just you, alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe, get to truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations, you're not stranded on an island. It's like a little personal B&B paradise away from society for a little bit with all the amenities and stuff. So,
okay.
Trust me, I don't want to strand you on an island. Anyways,
the last thing I'd be thinking about is media if I was stranded on an island.
Right, exactly. like there's comfort, and then there's I need to get the heck out of here ASAP. So
exactly.
Make sure you don't go completely insane on this island. You can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
That's a loaded. Can it be like? Does it have to be like a movie, or can it be like a game?
It could be a movie, a TV series, a game, a book, whatever you consider art or media within that realm. Open the possibilities.
Okay, so oh my god, I should have never asked, because now that I know it's more than just movies. Oh man. God bless it. I've been really reading a lot recently.
Okay.
Like I've been so into books, and I think I'm gonna steer myself in that direction.
Okay.
Oh my god. I think because these books have some rereadability, that I would probably go with the King of Sin series, or King Sin series by Anna Wong.
Okay.
Oh, you probably have not heard of them if you're not like.
I have not, no.
Book talk, but because I've been reading a lot lately, those are the books that I'm in right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely pick up those books again. So I think if I was on a remote island just relaxing, I absolutely would pick up a book and I would just binge and listen to the waves of crashing against the ocean shore. Like, it sounds serene, it sounds peaceful, it sounds very much bee. I would do
Exactly.
that. So I would pick up a book for sure. I would pick
Exactly.
up a book.
Well, what
Tomorrow, if you asked me that question, I probably would have said something completely different. But today, it's a book.
at the end of the day, like yeah, like I said, it's your own little like personal paradise or whatnot. Whatever kind of headspace you want, your headspace changes on a day-to-day basis or whatnot, you know.
Yeah,
But
for sure. Yeah.
what is it about the King of Sin series in particular that's like your go-to option? Like that, other than the fact that like it's one you've been recently getting into.
I just love her writing. I love the way that she details everything in the books.
Mm-hmm.
And I love a good romance. I am just so into romance. So it definitely has like this romance and just like these billionaires and like just like drama. It's like watching a good dramatic romantic television show, except you kind of create the vision of everything in your head. So only I can see what I see. You know what I mean? In my head, I've created this image of this book, and I like that everybody has a different experience when reading it. So I like that when I'm reading a book, I can have this is my own personal experience when reading it. And I think that's because she details things so well, I'm able to visualize it. And I like that part of reading.
That's always like the beauty of books at the end of the day, just kind of getting that, like, especially with like descriptive writing, like what you're talking about, just getting that nice little
Yeah.
visual like image of your head of like how the events would like play out and stuff like that. I think that's why people are so disappointed in book adaptations so many times, because it's not exactly how they envision it.
For sure. It's so hard to like encompass every detail. And I never get mad at adaptations a lot. And I'm gonna
Right.
because I feel like it's already hard enough to bring a book to life
Mm-hmm.
anyway. But it's you're never going to really encapsulate all of it. And but again, like you said, that's the beauty of reading is that you have your own like personal cinema playing in your head, and it's just so easy to get lost in the words, and I love it. I love it. I love reading. I love that series. I would read it over and over and over and over again.
Well, there you go. Regardless, the King of Sin series, that is your answer. You're locking that in.
I know, right? Anna Wong, sponsor me.
Well, well, on that little note, I think that's probably one of the best ways to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You would look fantastic in the merch that we have at the merch shop today. Check out fourthwall.com or the link in the description below in order to check that stuff out. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. She is an up-and-coming voice actor with an amazing range on full display, with amazing projects in the works such as Airborne and The Evil Little Thing. Welcome to the podcast, Be Animated!
Thank you. I've never heard anybody introduce me that way. That feels so good.
I try to give my guests more or less like the platform they deserve, and that starts with a good interest. Like, who doesn't love a good interest? Like walking in, just be
That's
like,
like
"Yeah, I am that person. I am her."
you made me a big deal.
Well, at least to me, you're a pretty big deal. I mean, because like I said, you're an up and coming voice actress, really getting some incredible opportunities. One of the ones that I am very close to, and we will definitely talk about that and then some. But like seeing like the opportunities you've already been able to have and kind of the presence you have out there and whatnot, like you're if you're not already a big deal, you're gonna be a big deal. I'm gonna guarantee that right now. But but before we talk about the stuff you obviously had a hand in now and what you could potentially be doing in the future, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of B. What got you interested in art and animation and such in the first place?
That's a very good question. Man, where do I start? I grew up very, very reserved. Even now, I'm a very shy, reserved person.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of things that I never had the opportunity to do growing up because of my own just being very shy and not outgoing. And I was very much like a little hermit. So I never got to explore things like acting in school. I never got to do drama or like chorus or any of that stuff. And I really wanted to, and I just never did. And I think I had this interest in voice work because, and I know like it's not really a reason to go into voice work when people go, "Oh, you have such a nice voice. You should do this. You should do that." It's not really a reason to go into it, but part of me already had a passion for voice. I don't know why. I wanted to be a radio host for the longest
Oh,
time.
okay.
I wanted to do radio. Oh my God. Like I wanted to intern at the local radio station here. I never actually pursued it, but I used to want to do that so much. And so like when people would tell me like, "Oh, you have a voice suitable for this and that," I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe I have a tool here that I can use." But I never really pursued it because again, I'm just like this shy little turtle and I'm like, "No, I'm not going to do it because it's very scary to put yourself out there." And I think the older I got, the more I was just like, I owe this to myself. I never gave my younger self the chance to explore that avenue of work. And my best friend was like, just create the Twitter account, just do it. Like, do it. I think you can do it. I know you can do it. And so I did it, and here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
So,
More than anything else. I
so
mean,
this is more than anything. This is the start of my journey.
that's that's part of the reason why I wanted to bring you on at least the previous month, with Amateur April that I usually do or whatnot. I mean, this episode does come out, it'll be like May 9th, I believe is when it is. But regardless, like I wanted to bring you in because I know that like I was saying, like you're really at the start of your journey. You're really like getting your toes in the water. You're really like getting these opportunities slowly but surely. But you've already had like a really good presence so far, like especially starting that Twitter account. But I just
Mm.
wanted to go back just a little bit to talk about like some of like being reserved like growing up because I kind of more or less relate to that. I was a little bit more outgoing, but I
Yeah.
also came from like little small farm town in the middle of nowhere to where like we had like a drama program or something like outside of like school and stuff like that, but like the most that we had when it come to like technology and entertainment and stuff along the lines of that is like it's either our art program, which is like traditional or like clay art, or our yearbook club, and I was a part of both, so I know both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
But like I also understood like the radio host aspect because in a way I kind of also wanted to do stuff similar to that. I thought I was gonna be like an anchor on like ESPN at one point in my life. Like that was something that
Oh,
I was
dope.
right.
I can see you doing that though.
Yeah.
You have the voice. I hear it. I hear it. I can absolutely see that.
It also doesn't help. It doesn't hurt that I think it was like my senior year of high school. Is either junior or senior year. I got to be more or less like the announcer for the baseball games or whatnot. So like when people are like walking up to bat and stuff, like I'll be like and coming up to the plate, number 13, Jason Bird Dog Lee or whatever nickname they wanted to go with.
So hear me out. Hear me out. So I played softball for like 10 years.
Okay.
Loved playing softball, right? My mom was so involved in my little league career, I guess, if you want to call it that. Or she was a part of like the boards and stuff like that. I never played school ball. I played little league ball, so rec ball. And my mom used to be scorekeeper. And so she'd sit up in the press box and they had the little PA system where like you could announce. And I would do it. But I was always so terrified as I did it. And I think I was only ever comfortable enough, and I use that term very loosely, because like I knew everybody.
Okay.
But if you were to ask me to do that in school, like I could play rec ball, and it's only because I'd started rec ball at such a young age that I knew everybody.
Okay.
But school ball is so different to me. I never played because I was too scared to try out for it.
Oh.
Like it's so weird. Like I could have done it and I could have made friends and I could have like really put myself out there, but I always was just like, well, I'm comfortable here because I've grown up with these people. Whereas in school, I'm like, I don't know all these new people. I don't want to join softball teams. It's I guess when I'm comfortable, I'm able to do things, which makes sense. But yeah, I did the whole PA thing too, like the announcer thing. Like it. I guess that's part of. And now that I'm thinking about it, that might be why like I added a aspect of that in my demo reel, where like my first voice is an announcer, and you just kind of made me realize that. I don't know why I chose that, but I feel like in the back of my head it was subconscious. Like, oh, you know how to do that. So yeah, wow.
I mean
Learned something new.
I mean, I think that's why you appreciate the nice little opening intro that I gave, because I have that like announcer background.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And I was also gonna say, hey, if you want to be a radio host, I mean, you might not be at that point yet, but there's always podcast hosts. That's always a thing.
think I've entertained the idea of podcasting once every 4 months. I always
Uh,
tell myself like, "Oh, I would be such a good podcast host." I'm awkward. So like I don't know how to do it. I'm
so are most
so
podcast
socially
hosts in my
awkward.
experience.
I would literally like get dry mouth and I stumble over my words. Even now I'm like grasping for like answers. I'm like, "Okay, let me process my brain off and just pull the answers out." I am having like the inner turmoil right now is in high gear.
From a current podcast host to a potential podcast host, that's always going to happen. That's always going to happen. There are times
I
where
don't know if I want to live my life every day worried about being socially awkward.
there are times where I stumble through questions, okay? But like I've also had, at least with the way I set up my podcast, I have the mentality of like I set up the questions, I just let my guests talk, all right? Like and if they want to go a certain direction, I'm gonna let them go in that direction. I'm gonna let them explore as well because this is as much of a fun conversation for them as it is for me. But there's also like several different kinds of podcasts that you can do out there, like for different interests. You can do a narrative kind, you can do like a specific interest kind or whatnot, interview kind, like what I'm doing with here. So I mean, like it the
Guess it just
possibilities
depends
are
on the
endless.
style.
Yes,
Yeah, I
exactly.
get that. I get that. I get that.
But back to the actual interview.
Sorry, I do that a
No,
lot. I will steer you in so many different directions.
again, what I just said. I go a certain direction. I let the guy, like I'm basically like Max in a way from a Goofy movie or whatnot. Like you're the one driving. I'm just the one that's like, okay, well you want to go this way? Okay, well let's go this way. We'll go see the giant knitted ball,
I don't know.
yarn balls or whatnot. So
Sounds like both our hands are on the steering wheel. You got your left hand on it and my right hand on it, and we're just kind of like we're swerving here. I don't know where this is headed.
well, let's head with this direction with this next question at the very least. When did for you go from this like just general love and appreciation and something you entertain the possibility of to a passion and truly wanting to make it like career, like something you want to pursue?
I want to say, I mean, when I want to say it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Maybe like right around 2021, 2022. I went through a really like difficult time in my life and I kind of needed to dedicate some attention, or I guess I needed to distract myself.
Okay.
And so I feel like I was just channeling a lot of my energy into things that were more productive for me instead of kind of just like head rotting or like wallowing. So I said, I'm really gonna like dive into voice work and I'm really gonna create my, online personality, my online image, and I'm really just try it and do something for me for once, right? And I think once I was able to do that and kind of learn the ropes and just familiarize myself with the art, um, I just I fell like head over heels. And I'm just like, I absolutely love everything about this community. And everybody was so just welcoming. And
Yeah.
that was part of the appeal was just I made that one post on my Twitter when I first set up and I was like, hey, I'm new. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I really hope to like just connect with a bunch of people. And the support was so overwhelming. I was like, I am in love with every person in this. Like I love everybody in this community, and I think being a part of the voiceover community has really support that's within the community has really just kind of helped me maintain that like love for it because everybody's just so you just get inspired by what other people are doing and like everybody's so welcoming, everybody's so supportive, and like you get to work with a bunch of people and it's they make it easy to want to stick around and they make it easy to want to do better for yourself. And I think I really think I can give most credit to to the voiceover community, honestly. Like I don't know if I at the time that I was in or the headspace that I was in, I don't know if I could have done it if I didn't have support of everybody. And they don't even know that they really helped me as much as they did. So I think that's what really kind of pushed me to really continue to pursue it.
I mean that I think that's one of the things I've really noticed when it comes to like this kind of community, whether it be like, the voiceover community or like just the animation community, like different art communities or whatnot. Like if there's a person that really wants to be a part of it, like they're more than willing to like bring you in and be like, hey, let's see what we can do to help you out. Let's really make you understand like what you're getting yourself into and really want to
Exactly.
do this thing and pursue this thing. Like I can only imagine, especially once you made that Twitter account, once you really like dove headfirst into it, like the people, like you were saying, that really were like there to support you. Like, what were some of those names that like really welcomed you into that community that you can remember?
Oh my God. I like have to go through my inbox. I don't, if I'm being honest with you, I don't think some of them are still even active. But a lot of the faces that I remember specifically, Vanessa, Jalen, Deshaun. I don't know if you're familiar with Deshaun Riggs. He is awesome. I love
Okay.
that guy. He's so awesome. Deshaun was one of the big ones. Gerald Hill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him either. He's a big one. Um, I'm drawing a blank, but there's just so many of them. Like there's just so many people out there that are just consistently Bree. I met this one really incredible person named Jess. She was one of the people that kind of really helped me work through it. She's not really active on Twitter, but they really like just truly helped me with being more comfortable in the VO space. And she gave me a lot of advice. I think she was one of the first people I had like a Zoom conversation with, kind of just
Okay.
see where my head is and like what I'm, looking to do, and just kind of gave me advice. And I never had that before. I've never had like people want to know about me or about like what my goals are. And it's nice to bounce that off of another, fellow voice actor. So Jess is really a big one for me as well. There's so many of them out there though. Even now, it's a bunch of like just really Corey, Jalen, all of these people. They're just so fantastic. They're all so fantastic.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, obviously, I've interviewed like a good bit of voice actors on this podcast as well, and like the names, like some of those names I did recognize. Like Corey, you used to say that, I figured immediately Corey Wilder, obviously.
Hmm.
But like some of those names as well, like it's really incredible. Obviously, like you said, like the community aspect and how much they were a true help with it. Because I can only imagine, especially for you, going from someone that kind of had like an idea and an inkling of wanting to do this to really like going headfirst into it, like it must have been quite a transition to really like just go all in on this stuff.
Yeah, it was absolutely. I completely just converted a lot of things. Like realized that I was taking this seriously when I turned my closet into a booth.
Yep.
Like I got the PVC pipe, I got the blankets, I got the new mics. I that was when I realized like I'm I am in here and I'm staying and this is what I want to do. Like I have the most fun when I'm in here. I could do this forever. And that was kind of like the realization for me, like this is what I want to do. When you look at something and you're like I want this for the rest of my life, I mean, like that's it, right? Like there's no more questioning it after that. I knew that the moment I started making my booth, I was like, yeah, I'm in it for sure.
I mean, there's a reason why this podcast has been going for over 3 years at this point. Like, once you get that kind of
Mhm.
realization of like, oh wow, this is the kind of thing I want to do. Like, I have fun every single time I get to like sit down and talk for you. I get to step in that booth and basically become a completely different person for Lord
Completely
knows how
different
long.
person. Yes. Exactly. That's exactly it. Like I don't have to be me. I can be this person or that person and this character and I can sound like this or I can make him sound like that. It's You don't get to do that in real life. You have to be like you have to be you forever. But like when you're acting, you get to be and put yourself somewhere else. And it's just such an experience. And I don't know if that makes us Looney Tunes or what it does, but it for me it's so rewarding. And I love when people get to see like the result of that and how
Yes.
they just eat it up. They just love it and they're just I love that. I love entertaining. And I think that's really a big takeaway for it for me.
I mean, I've had because of this podcast, I've had like a very few opportunities to get to voice act as well, to get myself out there and do some cool stuff as well. So like I get it, like really trying to immerse yourself as a completely different person and be something either like nowhere close to where you are or just completely add this world in a whole entire different universe, different reality,
For sure.
and just really like
Yeah.
absorb yourself in a unique and fun role. I mean, even then, like just starting off, you've already had like a good couple roles. One of the roles I wanted to talk about, like right off the bat, is this little unique opportunity that should be premiering soon, if I remember correctly, for as Jen from Airborne.
Yes.
I'm curious, like, how did you stumble? For those who may not know what I'm talking about, what exactly is the concept, if you could describe it, and how did you stumble across this role?
So it was a Twitter casting call.
Okay.
I saw it. And when I tell you, when I auditioned for it, I was like, I'm not getting this. I knew for a fact. I was like, I had really put myself in that mindset of send and forget, right? Because that's what they tell you to do, send and forget.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to send it. I'm not going to get it, right? It was out of sight, out of mind, right? And I was on my way, I think, to Kentucky. And I was checking my email and I get an email notification like, hey, interested in commissioning you for this animation. Like, let's talk. Let's talk specifics and see if we're a good match. And so we did, and they were like, yeah, I'm cool with it. I absolutely want you to voice this character. Let's do it. And I remember sitting just like, there's no freaking way this is happening right now. And I'm like, I went back to the Twitter casting call and I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, this has like a 17,000 reach with like 450 replies. And like, out of all of those entries, me.
Yeah.
Why? You know, like there's so many things that I'm wondering. And with that, like with the excitement came like the pressure, right? Because I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that I deliver well. Like I have to make sure that I give this person a reason to want to continue to cast me as this character. In addition to that, I have to make sure that like I give them the, I guess, the results that they deserve. Like they cast me for a reason, so I have to make sure I produce that. So I remember just every time I was in the booth, I'm like overly critical, over analyzing everything. I'm like, I have to like, oh, it's got to be spot on. But it was such a bizarre experience seeing that like they wanted to cast me because I was so mind blown. I'm like, I haven't done anything major ever in VO or voice work, VA, for you to like show that interest in me. So
Right.
I'm so grateful because I don't have like a rap sheet of animations that I've done. I don't have an extensive resume like some of these other like seasoned actors do. So it's very rewarding and humbling for people to kind of just, you know, see that talent in me. It makes me feel like I am worth, you know, casting. So
Yeah.
I'm forever grateful to them. Don't know if I'm allowed to exactly speak on the specifics of the show or not. They didn't
Fair
say
enough.
yes, they didn't say no. So
Fair
I don't
enough.
want to like reveal anything. But it's a very interesting story, and I think people are gonna like it. It hasn't been done before. Let's put it that way. I
Okay.
don't think it's been done,
I was gonna say from
and
what
I'm very excited.
for what little like taste, what little like sneaks that we've been able to see online from the creator as well. Like it looks to be something like really unique, like more than anything. Like
Good.
this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like obviously something airborne. I mean, it's not just a name just for the hell of
Mhm.
it, just for fun or whatnot. Like it looks like a legitimately like interesting adventure more than anything else, and like to the fact that you get to be one of the main voices that we get to hear from it or whatnot, like that's got to be like surreal, like just right off the bat for you.
I am floating on a cloud. You have no clue. Like it's so surreal. Like you said, it's sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I can't believe that's my voice. And some of my friends they saw the trailer and they're just like, the crazy thing is that I hear the voice coming out of this character, but I don't see you. And it's so weird to them. They're like, I know what you look like, B, and I know how you sound, but coming out of that character in that animation, I don't see you. So it's like this surreal feeling because it's like, okay, maybe I am doing my job right. Because I never want you to see a character and see me. I want you to see that character, right? I want to give that character their own voice, even though it's mine. So I that's rewarding to, I guess, to know that my performance is also convincing enough for people to be like, "Oh my God, that's you." Ah, it doesn't get any better than that. Chef kiss. Chef kiss.
Exactly, chef
Doesn't
kiss
get any
all
better.
around. No, again, I get that like ideal, like the surrealness of the entire situation at the end of the day. Like really seeing like your voice that you took time and effort really coming out of something that it's something that, like you said, is just above and beyond, so unique and such a interesting experience for people to really tune in and listen in on. And don't worry, for people that are curious, I'm gonna make sure to put at least like the Twitter in the link description below so you can follow Airborne and see what more they can do. I mean, I know there isn't much you could speak on it, but for those that might be vaguely curious, what can the people expect for Airborne?
They can expect dragonflies. They can, like massive dragonflies, and action. A lot of attitude from Jen. She had a little attitude. I love her.
There you go.
But I definitely think a lot of it's just gonna be a lot of like action, a good story, a good plot. I think the people will enjoy it for sure. It's something I've never seen it done before. Not to say that something similar hasn't been done. I've just never seen it done. I think the project is extremely unique, and I'm very excited for the final product of it all. I think the cast is stacked. I think we were able to see a couple of the actors that are in it through the trailer, Vera Tan being one of them. Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited for everyone to see it. Again, I think the plot is interesting. I think I've never seen an animation done with a bunch of dragonflies before being like the center of the whole thing. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it put together. And the creator is actually, they have a lot of I don't want to say a lot. They have some other animations on their channel as well.
Right.
I for the life of me cannot remember the name of it, but I've watched a bit of it, and their art is so good. Like, it's so different and unique. I love it. And that's probably part of the reason I'm super excited for this, because their style of drawing is just, I don't know, it's enticing. I like it. It's really good.
It was something that I certainly noticed as I was doing my research for your stuff, like seeing the artists and seeing the stuff that they've been able to do. It's one of those I might have to get in touch with them, see if I can get them on the podcast at some point
For
soon.
sure. Yeah, I'd hope you do. I definitely feel like their style is different. I have not seen drawing in that way. I'm not really good with, I'm a terrible artist. So like, I'm not familiar with the styles, but I've never seen that before. And I'm so impressed with them, and they're super friendly too. I hope they do. I hope you do reach out, and I hope they do agree to.
I'm sure I'll do. I'll put that little like note in the background or whatnot.
Note in there, yeah.
There you go.
Personally referred by beeanimated.
There you go. But on top of having incredible roles like that, I think one of the other big roles that we may be inching closer to or whatnot is, you might have this little tiny, oh no, let's be honest with us, a really big part in this incredible upcoming independent animated horror comedy series known as
Little Big.
The Evil Little Thing.
A little big part. A
little big part. Now, for those who don't know, I mean, obviously on this channel alone, I have showered much over and over again talking about The Evil Little Thing. You're voicing one of the main characters for it, Sam Ophir. I'm curious, how did you even stumble upon this little role in the first place, if I may ask?
Well, there's this neat little social site called, formerly known as Twitter, but now called X. So once again, a Twitter casting call.
Yep.
And I saw the casting call, and I believe there was like I think on the actual photo on the Twitter casting call, it was just the text, The Evil Little Thing. So I clicked the Google Doc, and I saw Sam, and I kid you not, my like heart almost like flew out of my chest.
Oh, really?
I was like, this woman is me. Like, I looked at her and I was like, I see myself in her. I fell head over heels for Sam. Like, completely. I was like, I have never wanted a role so bad in my life. Like, oh my God, you have no idea. I wanted to be her so bad. So I did the audition, and that was the one that I could not send and forget. That was the one audition that I could not send and forget. I was checking my email every single day, and I'm just like, is it me? Is it me? Is it me? Is it me? And so I tried so hard. I remember talking to my best friend. I'm just like, I want this role so bad. I wonder if I'm gonna get it. I wonder if I'm gonna get it. I wonder if I'm gonna get it. And I was actually, for some reason, when I'm out of town, that's when everybody wants to be like, hey, B, you've been cast, right? So I was actually matter of fact, it was 12 a.m. October 8th. Yep. Never forget. I was literally about to go to sleep. I checked my email one last time, got an email. Congratulations, you've been cast as Sam. And I was like, there's no way. It's like, there's no way. I was like, I am now purposely going to be leaving the state to go out of town whenever there's a role that I've auditioned for that I really want, because clearly that is the recipe to get the role, is to leave, right? So yeah, I'll just never forget that experience of just auditioning for her. I love, I just, I see her and I just see this like charming, just rambunctious, full of life and just sassiness, and I freaking love her. And I just knew I had to. I just knew I had to audition for her. I just knew. I just knew it. It felt right, and I'm a big person on trusting my gut, and so I did it, and I just never forgot it.
There you go. I mean,
it ruined my day. It ruined my every day.
well, I'm glad it worked out in the end. If that's the case, if it ruined your every day.
Yeah. No, can you imagine if I didn't get it? I would have quit.
So I'll give you a little insider baseball when it comes to that. First off, you said you gotta leave the state every single time. I mean, you're going to Momocon in May. Maybe you'll get like your biggest role yet whenever you're in Georgia for some reason.
Oh my God, manifesting. Let me just knock out all the auditions before I leave.
There you go. Exactly. That's how you have to do it. But so I'll give you a little insider baseball when it came to the role, because me and Tipsy were the ones that took care of the casting, obviously, because it's Tipsy's project or whatnot. We went through all the auditions. There was a good chunk. I want to say there was at least I remember the most for some reason was like the like Housewife one. Like that was the one that had like the most auditions. Sam had about, I want to say like 35, 50 auditions, somewhere within that range and whatnot. So there was a good bit.
A lot.
There was a good bit of ones to go through, but we're going through every single one, and there's some that were like, okay, like this is good or whatnot, like, oh, this is great. And there was two in particular that Tipsy was like really like absolutely in love with. It was yours, and I won't reveal the other person for decency or whatnot, but like they were really good auditions. And honestly, like the other person, I think we're gonna try to make sure to get like a role to have them in the project, because they were that good. They were really good. But like, we're going through it, and then I remember Tipsy's like, well, there's like a very particular voice that I'm looking for between these two, and she reverted back to a clip that she made an animation of like, please tell me you didn't get Sean into this. I did not bring Sean into this. Like,
yes.
that little voice, like that was like her reference to it. Now, I remember, like, when going between the two or whatnot, the instant I heard your voice or whatnot, I was instantly sold, because I'm thinking back to that clip, and I'm like...
That's the reference that I used!
There you go! I was, like, literally... see? It works out. No, it's like... I heard that voice or whatnot, and then I heard your audition, and I'm like... Tipsy, believe me when I say I think this one's it. Like, I remember I was sold on it. Tipsy loved it, but like it was between you and the other person. We get through all the auditions just to make sure. We listen to those two back to back, and Tipsy's like, no, we're getting B. Like, B's the one we need. That's the one.
Let's go.
I'm so glad you referenced that clip too, because like honestly, if I hadn't heard that clip or whatnot, I don't know who we would have picked or whatnot. I mean, obviously your performance was great regardless. Like you really encapsulated the character, like you were talking about. Like you got the sassy, which I recently figured out where that clip came from or whatnot. That came from, what was it?
I had to look up. Wait, it was. Was it Boy Meets World?
Yeah, it was Girl Meets World, like the little follow-up series that came up afterwards.
Okay.
It was
Topanga?
It was Topanga. Like,
I thought, listen, when I heard it, I never looked up where it came from, right? So in my head, as I'm listening, I was like, oh, I think this is Cree Summers.
Yeah,
so I was like,
that's
okay.
what I thought.
I was like, okay, let me just embody Cree Summers. So when I did the audition, I'm looking up clips of Cree Summers talking, right? I'm like, let me look at her acting stuff. I'm looking up all her, like, animation roles, and I can't even think of which one I looked up first. I think I might have looked up Codename Kids Next Door.
Okay.
And, like, Susie from Rugrats. And I'm, like, listening to I am studying Cree, okay? This is pre-audition. I'm studying her. I'm like, okay, she's got this, like, vocal fry and, like, this, like... I don't know how to explain it, but I'm like, I'm going to try my best to not imitate it, but incorporate it into what I'm trying to deliver for Sam, right? And then I submit the audition, then I go back and, like, type in the actual dialogue to Google, and I find out that it's freaking Topanga, and I'm like... I'm like, what? I
Because
was so confused.
because that's the thing. Like when I initially heard the clip or whatnot, I thought it was like some like obscure like '90s sitcom or something like that. I didn't think it was.
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
think it was the more recent Girl Meets World or whatnot.
Topanga never sounded like that to me.
Right?
When did that even happen?
I
I'm
think
like,
that's.
I've never heard her sound like that.
I guess that's just grown up Topanga more than anything else, like, cause,
Has to be.
yeah, cause,
Has to be.
cause, like I said, this is like 2017, 2018 or whatnot. So this is obviously after Boy Meets World had its initial run or whatnot. So
A more mature verse or voice, I guess she kind of grew into.
exactly.
But I loved it. I so messed up. I'm like trying to like literally make this sound more like Cree Summers, and I should be making it sound like I don't know her actual name, but Topanga. Like
Yeah.
I messed up. I messed up, but really I messed up in a really good way.
Yeah,
Because it obviously paid out.
I mean, to be fair, from what Tipsy was describing to me, I mean, like that voice, obviously, like that '90s sitcom esque voice, which Cree was in a good couple of like sitcoms, if I remember correctly. Like
Yeah.
obviously, like I think that was exactly like that range or like that area was more or less what we were trying to go for.
Sure.
So the fact that you actually studied that and like tried to incorporate that or whatnot, like that really worked out for you. Obviously, I mean, here we are talking to the voice of Sam Ophir.
Yes. Yes. Right. Imagine that, right? Like what a great mistake. It worked out so well. Worked out so well.
Task failed successfully,
Only ever happened once in my life.
Well, there you go. Maybe it'll happen more. Who knows? But regardless, like I can only imagine, especially seeing how cool of a character. Like for what you said, like you saw that character, you instantly saw yourself. But like I can only imagine like the experience of really like what? Yeah, wow, words. I don't know why I just stop. No.
I get that.
Words are wonderful, aren't they? No, but like I can only imagine, especially the experience you've been able to have so far, really embodying this character and whatnot, and like obviously with what potentially could be more with it, like it's got to be nothing but fun just embodying this role, right?
Yeah, no, I freaking like I had the chance to read over the script. Again, I'm not gonna reveal anything, but I had the opportunity to actually read over the script, and I I don't know how to explain this. I freaking love her. I love how what's the word? Just she's so
Feisty.
there's a word here that I'm looking for. She's feisty, that's for sure, but she's very like dedicated. Like she's
Okay.
so driven and like she pours herself into what she does, but she also is very driven to achieve her goal, if you get what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Like only you would know that. But she's very I don't know, she's so driven, she's so feisty, she's so freaking hilarious.
Yes.
And she's fearless, even though her name is Ophir. She's so fearless. I love that about her. And I'm so excited for everyone to meet her. I'm so stoked.
Well, I was say, to be fair with the Ophir name, she gets that from Chris because she married into that. So I mean,
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. So factual.
But I mean, regardless, like, yeah, I'm glad. First off, thank you for saying those kind words because me and Tipsy were the ones that wrote that pilot script or whatnot.
Oh
so,
yeah, man, you guys absolutely killed it. Oh my god, I'm so excited for it. It's so good.
Oh, you don't have to flatter me. You already got the role. Like you're safe and secure. Don't worry. But no, I mean, like,
honestly, I am super stoked about it. It's a very well written.
Oh, I'm excited as well. Like, especially seeing like your performance, knowing that you're the one that's gonna be providing that like feisty voice, because that voice, like head mentality, that feistiness, that like driven personality or whatnot. That's what I was envisioning based on what Tipsy was like telling me. Like, when we were working together, like trying to flesh out this character. Like obviously this is Tipsy's baby. This is how she envisioned the characters. I just tried to translate it more or less. And like,
sure,
I'm so glad that like what we were able to produce is exactly what you are able to also translate further and really bring forth into this fun animated like scenario. Like I can only imagine how excited you are for the possibilities of what could come with Sam.
I am just excited is such an understatement. Like I wish I knew the right word. But I'm ready for everything that offer. So ready for it.
There you go. There you go. Oh, hold on. We're starting to get a little laggy here. Starting to get a little laggy. Oh, you good? You good?
Is it me or is it you?
It was. I think it was both. I think it was like something with the internet for a quick second. Am I still lagging? Are you good? Oh,
No,
okay.
you're good. You never lagged.
Oh, you never. Okay, so it was you. Like you were lagging for a second there.
Okay, good,
Okay.
good.
I'll make sure to edit that little bit out. That's why I have my face cam on.
It happened.
It happens. No, but regardless, like I know I've probably already illustrated this enough, but thank you for putting forth that audition more or less because you were what we needed. You were an incredible performance, and we're excited to work with you to really like bring forth this character and then some. You know.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm super stoked. I genuinely cannot wait. I just know it's gonna be, and the fact that it's already so talked about is also something that's so mind blowing.
Yeah.
Like when Saber Spark posted about it or was talking about it, I was like, what is happening?" Like I was just blown away. I'm like, "How did you even find this?" Like,
I was just as surprised as you when that happened. I'm guessing like the editor for Saberspark or whatnot like heard about it or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But like regardless, like the fact that Saberspark even remotely knows about this or whatnot, like
Yeah.
I'm genuinely surprised by it, you know?
And I think he's going to Momocon.
Yeah.
think they're going to Momocon, so that'll be nice.
I would say,
That'll be real
I would
nice.
say, do you know who else is going to Momocon?
There's a lot of people going. I'm thinking.
Well, I was also gonna say yours truly is gonna be at Momocon.
Wait, no, I was gonna say, why did I not take the bait? Right? I was gonna say, wait, no, I definitely saw you post about that.
Yeah, no,
I should have known.
I'm definitely going to Momocon. I'm definitely gonna be taking the time to go see Saberspark because if nothing else, I got one of my group of friends. They sometimes call me bootleg Saberspark, like jokingly, obviously. So like I'm a rock up in an orange shirt more than anything else just to continue the bit.
That's hilarious. Now you cosplaying.
Exactly.
That's so funny.
But regardless, like it's gonna be so. Like first off, I'm excited for Momocon because this is my first convention that I've ever gone to. Like period.
Really? You've
Yes.
never been to a convention before?
Never
Oh my
been to a
god, you're gonna
convention
have
before.
a blast. You're gonna have a blast. It can get so overwhelming, but you're gonna have a good time at the end of the day.
I mean,
It's gonna be so fun.
I'm sharing an Airbnb with like 10 or 11 other people, so like yeah, I know it's gonna be a bit of a chaotic bit as is. So
Or yeah, you're never gonna get any sleep, dude. Good luck.
it's okay. It's the reason why I took the week off of work to make sure I could deal with it.
Well, yeah, no, that's smart. That's so smart.
But I was say, but regardless, like I can already imagine, like especially for you, like just starting out on this like voice actress journey, more or less, like it's gotta be like super surreal the opportunities you've been able to get, especially such like big roles like what we've been talking about, and even some of the small ones that we never even got a chance to touch upon or whatnot. Like it must be so surreal for you, like really going forth to this thing and already getting such like cool opportunities and meeting such incredible people.
Yeah, it is. It almost doesn't feel real sometimes. I guess that's hence the surrealism behind it. But I I guess, sometimes as an actor you get that imposter syndrome kind of like
Mhm.
really kicks in when you book a role, right? Like
Oh
you're
yeah.
just you're so just like, what is it about me that made you select me? Because I don't have the like again all of the experience. I don't have the accolades. I don't have the tons of classes under my belt. I don't have the agency. It's just me, my booth, and my microphone. And for some reason, you saw something in me, and I feel like I don't deserve it. But the reality is like, why don't I? Right? So it is very surreal, and it's a work in progress. You kind of have to really like convince yourself and reassure yourself like, hey, it's not about the expensive equipment. It's not about like all of the other minuscule things. It's about your performance at the end of the day and your professionalism. And I think because I have that, I'm able to secure the roles that I have been. And that's not to say that other performances aren't, something that is competitive with me.
Right.
But it goes to show that because I do take my job seriously and because I do put my best foot forward, that the opportunities are there for me. Like I do have a fighting chance. And I surprise myself sometimes. I do. I don't know how I get these roles sometimes because it'll always be like the auditions that I'm like, oh, I tanked. because the one thing that I do I should probably stop doing, which is going back and listening to the audition that I submitted multiple
Mm,
times. And not just once. I'm like replaying it over and over again, and I'm critiquing myself like, oh, I should have done this, or oh, I shouldn't have submitted this one, I should have done this better. But I've already submitted it, so there's no going back.
yeah.
And but really it's like if I submitted it, that meant I gave the performance, the best performance that I could possibly give. You're always going to be able to pull apart your auditions and say you could have done this better, you could have done that better. But at the end of the day, I feel like again, if I submitted it, it was my best take. Um,
I'm
there's a lot of things that I didn't book,
yeah.
which it's okay. And that's not to say that I'm not good at what I do. That's just people are looking for a specific voice, and if I don't fit that, regardless of how good my performance is, I mean, it is what it is. But for as far as the roles that I did get, still trying to figure out how I got those. But I do think I deserve them. If that
Yes.
makes sense. I definitely feel like there are people that are, I don't want to say better, but that could definitely probably do better than I can because they're more experienced. That doesn't mean that I'm undeserving.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the opportunities.
I mean, at the end of the day, first off, we're all our biggest critics. I cannot tell you the amount of times I'll go back through like an episode of the podcast and be like, God, why did I ask that question? I could have worded it like this, or whatnot. Or like when I do like my voice acting stuff, like what little bits I have or whatnot, like I'll listen back to like certain takes and be like, God, is that really the best thing I could have done? Like I know I did like
You're right.
three or five takes of the same thing, but I was like, is that one of the best I did? Like, come on,
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, at the end of the day, we're all our biggest critics or whatnot. And at the end of the day as well, like it may not be so much like the experience that a person has that gets them a role or whatnot. It could just be, it's always like the creator's discretion at the end of the day. Like the creator wants a certain voice, and for some reason, that voice actor over there has the voice that they're looking for. Like
For sure.
it doesn't discredit you as a voice actor. It just means, okay, well, that's an opportunity that they fit best for. Let's see if I can find the ones that I fit best for. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing like what you were just telling me with the evil little thing. It wasn't that the two that you had it boiled down to one performance was better than the other. It boiled down to which voice do we see fitting this character more.
exactly.
And it wasn't about the performance at that point. It was definitely about whose voice do we see fit. And that's why I say like I don't think that anybody's better than the other. I definitely feel like most of the people in this community is they're all extremely talented.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's to me it's always friendly competition. You know what I mean? I'm always very happy for the roles that like my peers end up booking, even if we did audition for the same thing. I'm always super stoked because like they deserve it just as much as the next person, right? Like I love this community, man. I love it. Everybody's always so happy for everyone, and it's the most positive community I think I've ever been a part of.
Oh,
I haven't been a part of many communities because I'm a hermit, but like I definitely I think it's one of the most supportive communities I think I've ever seen.
It's certainly one you definitely don't want to leave anytime soon, I assume, right?
No, no, I'm in it for the long haul. They couldn't get rid of me even if they wanted to. I'm here.
Well, I mean, considering the long haul, I'm genuinely curious now because, like, considering the roles you have gotten at this point, let's dream just a little bit for a second. What would be more or less like a role that you would like die just to have, like you would kill just to have? What would be like more or less the dream role that you would love to like have at some point?
I want to play Mary Jane Watson so bad.
Okay.
Like I have been cast for Mary Jane Watson for a Spider-Man remake.
Okay.
I don't want to say remake, but it's their own animated series. But either way, I want to be in an actual studio. I want to be in an actual studio for like an actual televised animation of Spider-Man. I want to play Mary Jane so bad. I feel like I would fill that role. I really, really do. I want to play her so bad. I also like that Mary Jane, but I also love adult cartoons.
Okay.
I love adult animation, and I want to just be a part of that, like in any regard. Like, cast me as Lois. I will play Lois. Like, let me, like, give me something. I want to be. I love comedy. Like, I want to be the housewife who's got a smart ass mouth and is hilarious. Like I would kill it. I know I would because that's how I am. So like it'd be so easy to deliver that.
I mean, considering some of the opportunities you've had, especially with the Evil Lil thing, I mean, that is adult animation for us. I mean, at the end of
Yeah,
the day.
yeah,
So, I
sure
mean,
is.
but I mean, like, I'm now genuinely curious, like, what your lowest would be if you had that opportunity for some
Oh my
reason.
God, I would be so bad at it. I would probably give her like she would like I'd make her sound like a chain smoker. Like just
so,
like she would sound like this. Like she would have just
so,
Peter.
so,
Like she would sound like she smoked 12 cigarettes in the past hour.
so less Lois Griffin and more like one of Marge's sisters from The Simpsons.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely like Marge's like sister twice removed. Like it's her cousin twice removed. The one that doesn't have any money and is forever calling her to like ask if she can couch surf and she overstays her welcome. That's exactly who I would play.
There you go. There you go. Well, I mean, like that. Honestly, I would pay to see like you have a role like that. Just like going with that chain smoking role. I might have to figure out a way to like write that into a future script. Anyways, but I mean,
Definitely would play a chain smoker.
oh, there you go. But I mean, regardless, like thinking back to like what you've been able to accomplish so far, even though you've only just really gotten all in on it as of late, but like seeing what you've been able to accomplish so far, thinking back to your art journey as a whole, are you more or less amazed with how far you've been able to develop as an artist?
Yeah, no, that's real. I definitely never if you had asked me this 2 years ago, I would have told you you were crazy. I would have never done this. Um, but I think everything happened for a reason. I
Okay.
think I was meant to be here. Like I definitely feel like the experiences that I've had that have led up to this moment happened because I was meant to be here. So I hate that I had to go through like a super low in order to like experience this high, but I mean,
Right.
I definitely feel like if I hadn't, I don't think I would have met the people that I met. I don't think I would have really immersed myself into this art the way that I have. But I think most of all, I don't think I would have fulfilled my younger self. And I feel like being here has allowed me to really give my younger self that space to like just kind of like what is it? Healing my inner child, I guess.
There
I'm
you
I'm
go.
able to kind of like just kind of say that I did it. And not only can I say that I did it, I want to do this forever. So yeah, I definitely feel like I'm a little surprised at myself. Um, I hope I keep surprising myself. It's a beautiful thing to experience.
I mean, you said yourself you're only like 2 years in on this little, on this little experience. Who knows where it could take you next? You know.
Yeah, 2 years in, forever to go. I mean, I plan on till the wheels fall off. I'm in it for the long run.
Well, let's go. Let's look a little bit towards forever, a little bit, if I may. And for this next question, give you more or less the dream scenario. Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags right here. I come up to you and like, look, be with what you have been able to showcase. We know there's something incredible here. We just need to give you that little extra push, a little extra platform. We have
Mhm.
access to everyone and anyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than should be possible. We really should be compensating for the animators. That strike is coming up like real soon. We really should be taking care of them or whatnot. We'll focus on them in a little bit. Right now, we are focusing on you and you alone. We know the dream
Okay.
roles, but I'm genuinely curious. If given the opportunity, what would be the dream be animated project?
Oh, that's loaded. That's so loaded. Um, I'm definitely again, I'm still gonna go with an adult animation for sure.
Okay.
I man. So me and my best friend have this joke because he's very frugal.
Okay.
And I told him that one day I'm gonna, build an animation based off of his frugalness.
Okay.
And I don't know how we came up with the name, but I said we're gonna call him Lucky Tie. And
Oh.
his name is gonna be Lucky. And it's just gonna be like almost slice of life kind of situation where like it's just this one frugal guy moving through life and just being extremely lucky despite how frugal he is. And that's why his name's Lucky. Um, And like it's still a work in progress. So, like it's not an actual thing, but like if I ever were given the opportunity, I would definitely bring that to life. Um, and it would just be Lucky going through life as a lucky son of a freaking gun, living living life with barely a cent to his name, but for some reason he is just the luckiest guy. And I would like to. I feel like if I got a team full of like really innovative and creative people, we could hone that into something like spectacular. So that would be my dream project, to bring a joke like that to life. I would love to do that.
I mean, if nothing else, like kind of the antics that could come along with that or whatnot, of like, the frugality of Lucky, but while still find out a way to get through every single situation or whatnot, like
Hmm.
that's just comedy gold waiting to happen. Like, if there's
Yeah, right.
if there's any animators out there, hook up with me, like get this thing
We
going.
got a good working base here. This is a good base we're working with. We can definitely expand that into something like, come on, somebody's gonna want that.
Exactly. But sadly, we gotta get down from the dream scenario. We gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the
Yes.
ever so generic question: where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
5 to 10 years from now, I these are answers I should or questions I should already know the answer to. You should always ask yourself these questions. You should always have a game plan. Don't go through life like me blindly, okay? 5 to 10 years from now, I would hope that I have a stable career in voice acting. I would like to quit my day job.
I
I would
I
like to leave my day job.
I know that feeling. I know that vibe.
Yeah, I would like to leave my day job for sure. I really want to have a good balance with my voice work between two different types of voice work. I really want to dive into narration, doing
Okay.
audiobooks, and I really want to do a lot of animation work. I do hope to do a lot of commercial work as well, but as a voice actor, we just want it all anyway.
Hmm.
But if I had to pinpoint where I want most of my time to go to, I definitely want to a good divide between narration and animation. Um, so that's where I see myself in the next 5, 10 years, just kind of really being able to leave my day job and make a stable income with voice work, and doing what I love every day. That's the goal ultimately. Once I'm able to accomplish that, I mean, I can do anything after that.
Right? Yeah, I mean, like, especially with what little bit you've been able to do so far and the opportunities you've been able to get, like just having the opportunities where you don't have to work that day job, you can just really immerse yourself all in and get just cool opportunity one after another. Like that's the
Yeah.
life. That's what we could all hope for.
Yeah, right. Like I just want to be able to. If I didn't have to work every day, I would be. Oh my God, I wouldn't know what to do with myself every day. Like I would be in the booth, just like, oh my God, I would find a reason to create voice content. I would find a reason. Like
You
I
can
would
finally
be
get
doing
Lucky
this
Tie
every
done.
day. Now you know what I mean? I could finally get my team together and we can produce this crazy, amazing animation. So yeah, no, I definitely see myself, and I don't want to say what I hope to see myself in. I will be in that position in 5 to 10 years because I'm all about manifestation.
There you go.
So in 5 to 10 years from now, that's absolutely what I will be doing.
Well, there you go. That is a good mentality to have, especially looking forward to the future.
Yeah.
As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I want to ask you, B. Obviously, at this point, you're deeply entrenched in art. You've really immersed yourself and you've gone as all in as you can, and you know that there's so
Mhm.
much more that you can do with it. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Art is extremely important. Art is a way for people to self-express. I feel like if we didn't have art, we would just be a bunch of robots. Without art, there's no creativity, right? I feel like I can't imagine a world without art. Art is laced in everything that we do,
Right.
every single thing that we do. Everything. I mean, down to like just the basic necessities, like food involves art, like cars involve art, music, art, like just things that we do regularly involves art. Without art, there's no self expression. Without self expression, we are all a monolith. Like we're all the same thing. And so I definitely feel like art is important. I think it's very important. I can't imagine a world without art. I don't even know if it's possible to operate in a world without art.
I'd like
Yeah,
to.
just delete me. Delete me if we didn't have art.
I wouldn't go that far, but at the same time, I get that mentality, and if I do say so myself, a wonderful way to word it at the end of the day.
Minus the delete.
Delete me! B, was a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much. That is all the questions I have for you. I'm going to shout you with a little bit more praise because it's my podcast. I do whatever I want.
That's right. Yeah, you do whatever you want because it's your podcast.
Exactly.
It's my party. I can do what I want to.
Exactly. And the party that you've been on when it comes to this voice acting thing or whatnot has been a fantastic party to see like really grow and develop. Like I know when we first planned doing this podcast back in December, like I was just getting familiar with like the stuff that you were doing. You know, I was just I mean, heck, whenever I first heard your audition back in October, you know, I was instantly amazed with the performance that you were given. Like I know that there's someone that truly loves like what they're doing and like really wants to put forth their best foot when it comes to putting an incredible performance. And I feel like, you know, now that you've really immersed yourself in this world, really gone foot forward with like the opportunities that you probably wished you could have when you were younger, but now that you have that like hunger, that drive to really go forth and like
Sure.
to really go forth and do this kind of stuff, like it's incredible to see where that hunger and drive is going to take you. Because again, considering that you know, buzzword take a shot or whatnot, but regardless, the fact that you've gotten these cool opportunities so far, and Lord knows with the again that hunger and drive that you have, who knows where it could potentially take you. I just know that's going to take you far because I could really tell, especially as we were talking, you know, about how incredible the opportunities you've gotten so far, how they felt to you. I know you're not taking this thing for granted. I know you truly want to be in this until the day you die. And I know that that love and appreciation and that drive is going to take you places more than anything else. And I'm really excited to see where it can take you. Thank you for really immersing yourself in this world. Thank you for really putting yourself out there. And I'm going to be by your side rooting for you every single step of the way because I know you can do some incredible stuff, B, and I cannot wait to see
I'm going to need the support, man. I'm going to need it. So thank you. Thank you so much.
You got that support and then some from me. I can promise you that.
Thanks.
Now, if people want to exactly know about that hunger and that drive that I've been talking about and all the incredible opportunities and such, go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home.
So I only have really like a few pieces of social media. Like I actually have to get better at that, right? But
we all do.
I have a Twitter. I have a Twitter, and the crazy thing is that I have to pull up my Twitter because I don't even know my Twitter handle. So
I believe it is at __VO. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is it at B__VO? Yeah, that's right. I told you.
I am a person that has to do the research in order to search this stuff up.
There you go. I told you I was going to need your support already. Already I need it. Yeah, that's my Twitter, at B__VO. I also have an Instagram. I also don't know what that is. So,
I can't remember that one off the top of my head, I'll be honest with you.
It's okay, because neither can I, but it's probably the same thing. Maybe. I don't know. I guess the logical part of me would think that I would have made it the same. I don't know. But I'm most active on my Twitter. That's where people can find me. That's where all the information on me would be at. And then from there, Twitter, you could probably find my Instagram. But
there you go.
Yep, that's where you can find me.
If nothing else, if you forgot any sort of links, like, you know, you said your Instagram or your card or your website or whatnot, I'll be sure to have those linked in the description below. So I got you covered. Don't worry about that.
Sounds good.
That also does lead me to one question I forgot to ask earlier in the podcast. So I lied. Yeah. I have one more question for you.
We love surprise question.
Why did you take on the name beeanimated as your professional name going into this field?
So my best friend has so much influence on me.
Okay.
His best friend, his brother, whatever, calls me B.
Okay.
And so whenever he would tell me like, oh, so my friend says blah, blah, blah about B. And then I'm like, why? Like, because my real name is actually Brittany.
Okay.
So he calls me B. So I took that from them because they would both call me B. So they would only call me B without the E. E's. They would just say B, just the letter B.
Right.
And then I was like, okay, I'm going to adopt that and I'm going to make it B. And then I made E's my brand. So that's where it derived from, just my friends calling me B. And so now I'm B.
And you kind of just
It
evolved that to
works.
include. You just kind of evolved that to include like the animated because of the voice acting opportunities or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. And so I kind of take B is kind of like the center of my name, and I kind
Hmm.
of just modify the names after that. So there's BVO, there's B animated. My narration name is B reads. So
Okay.
like it just kind of like it all flows together, and B just it just fits. It's worked out for me. It's an easy brand to work with, and people love it. So I'm sticking with it.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw your name, Be Animated, I initially thought, "Oh, they must be an animator as well. It's cool for them trying to get into voice acting." And then I did some research. I'm like, "Oh, you're just doing the voice? Yeah, that's cool. Regardless."
Yeah. See, look, that's it's a conversation starter.
Exactly. Exactly. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Aside from thank you for having me, this is my first ever podcast. I've never done this.
Hey.
So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when I'm comfortably doing my narration and animation, I can always refer back to my first podcast, my interview with the Mod Art podcast. Come on. We're gonna get you out there. By that time, you're already gonna take off. By that, it's not even gonna be anything at this point. Like me saying anything, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, so you think you're cool because you talk to Nathan. Okay, yeah. Well, you're gonna be huge by then, and they're gonna think like, oh, okay, whatever. It's not even gonna be important anymore. I'm not even gonna be important. You're gonna be like this huge deal.
You're being way too kind. You don't have to. You already got the role of Sam. There's no replacing you at this point.
Look, I'm just saying, don't forget about me when you're interviewing all these crazy big names.
I won't forget about you whenever I decide to make some of my own animated stuff, and I might need a voice actress for that stuff. Just saying.
Yeah, come on, make sure you write that down. I'm clipping this. Like, don't forget that.
All right. There we go. It's gonna be backwards on my screen because it's gonna be hard. There you go. High. It showed for like a second. Come on. There you go. Higher
Even
B. There you
the
go.
camera doesn't want it.
There you go. Higher B.
Exactly. Clip this moment. This is what's gonna happen.
Higher B. Higher B. There you go.
He needs more work.
There you go. There you go. With that, all I've left to say is for the people at home, if you can, pay your artists.
Absolutely.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me sparks in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, put me up in the car, you go when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Like I said in the intro, B is someone that I thankfully got to know because of the Evil Little thing. Which, I mean, if you guys have not been keeping up to tabs with and supporting already, I highly recommend you should. Not just because I'm one of the people that's writing on it, but because we have an incredible cast and crew, as you can see from today's guests. B, if you've gotten up to this point, thank you. Thank you so much. Despite all the hiccups and the bumps in the road that we got to this point, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. It was a sincerely fun chat, and I cannot wait to see what else we're able to accomplish. And nothing else, I certainly can't wait to see you at Momocon. Really getting to talk to guests like B, it makes me excited in a way. Seeing the excitement that B has for the projects that she's been able to have a part of, and talking to guests in that similar vein to where like they're really getting their foots on the ground, they're really going forth and either getting opportunities or creating opportunities themselves. That's the kind of stuff that gets me excited, gets me hyped. And I mean, especially seeing how B has just gone headfirst full force and getting some incredible opportunities right off the bat. It makes me excited, and honestly, makes me want to focus a little bit more on voice acting because I have been slacking on it horribly. Oh my god. Regardless, like that excitement and that passion that B had, it's infectious, And I know I talked to several guests on this podcast that have that same love and passion for what they're doing, that same appreciation for the art field that they have devoted themselves to. I mean, it's something that I try to illustrate and I try to show whenever I'm interviewing the guests for this podcast, because I really do love and appreciate what all the guests are able to do. I really do love and appreciate all the guests I'm able to bring on and get to talk about the thing that makes them, who they are. I hope I got to illustrate that with B's episode today and just about every single episode, because there are people out there that are genuinely excited and really want to show you guys what they have in store. And the same goes for me as well. I'm excited for you guys to see the conversations I have coming up, the potential people that I could be bringing on, the incredible conversations that could be going forward. It just makes me excited. It makes me amped. And I hope that excitement goes to you guys with your own projects and your own passions, really going forth and make those a reality. Because when that excitement and that love and that passion is shown on full force, nothing is going to stop you guys. People will notice, people will love it, people will appreciate it, and they will show that love and support right back to you. So the excitement and that passion that we're talking about, really let that on full display, because I know you guys can produce some incredible stuff, and I want to see that incredible stuff.